Hello and welcome back to Adobe Live. This is day 2 with Danielle Murrell Cox. So excited to be here with you. If you didn't catch us for yesterday's live stream, we have the replay here on Behance, and we're so back. We're so happy to be back for day 2. Hi, Wade Owace. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Masa. We got Paco. We've got Clever Devlin. Oh, thank you so much for joining us, you guys. Hi, Paloma. How is everybody doing this morning? Well, morning for me. We have a global audience.
Afternoon for me.
Afternoon. Oh, that's so luxurious. I love it. So shout out in the chat if you are coming from somewhere far flung or, well, from me. But yeah, what time is it where you are and what are you up to today? Happy Thursday / Friday, probably.
Like pre-weekend.
Exactly. Pre-weekending. Woo! We've got a packed schedule today. So we started off the day with the DCC with Kathleen Martin. Now we're here with Danielle. Woo! After this, we've got the Illustrator DCC with Paul. Then we've got Branding and Identity with Monique. We've got the Creative Encore with this is the XD Daily Creative Challenge with Howard Finsky. These are all in Creative Encores, which means they're not live, but the chat is, so you can definitely engage. We've got a draw along with Kyle Webster, and ending the day with Doodle Therapy, Alice Lee and Nick Slater. Whoop, 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 whoop. So thank you so much again for joining us all day, hopefully. So right after us, there's going to be more content for you to watch and learn from. And hey, I see Shauna in the chat. What's up, Shauna? We've got Megan. Hi. Oh, so good to see you guys. Andreas. Oh, okay. So we worked on a sketch yesterday of a piece of work of yours. Yes. So first, if anybody's just joining us from out of the blue, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Yes. Possibly we can actually look at your Behance page while we do that.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Danielle Murrell Cox. I am a graphic designer, illustrator, author, and pretty much a creative person from Montreal, Canada.
Pretty much.
I've been doing all this stuff since, I guess, as soon as I came out the womb. No, I'm kidding. I've been doodling ever since I was a kid, went to graphic design. Didn't get in the first time, but on the second try, I did get into the program, graduated in 2011 here in Montreal from Dawson College. And ever since then, I've been working in offices, doing the corporate stuff, also learning from the corporate stuff as well. And then I've been freelancing throughout the whole time. And as of 2017, I became a full-time freelancer. And from there, all me, which is exciting, but nerve-wracking all at the same time.
Of course.
And so since 2017 and onward, I've just been creating, doing personal projects. And that's kind of how I created my books, my self-published books. From there, I was also able to get a book deal with HarperCollins. And then I'm creating plushies. So I have plushies that are now available. Their names are Zuri and Dre. I have them right here. You guys can see them.
Oh my gosh. Can we go big on that? I want to see them up close. Yay.
Yeah, look at them. That's Zuri and that's Dre.
They're so cute.
Yeah. So these are my plushie friends that I'm only officially launched as of last month. So January 2021. And so that's kind of a little bit of what I'm doing, what I'm a part of, what I've created. And now we're getting into this poster design that I started yesterday.
Absolutely. We did a sketch of it. This is a quote from Janelle Monáe in the back as well, right?
Yes.
And sorry, this one is your Behance page still, but we're going to show you working in mainly Illustrator today, correct?
Yes, exactly. So yesterday we worked in Fresco and I outlined all the sketchy part of it. And then now I brought it into Adobe, which is super easy in Fresco. They have an option that you can export it straight into Illustrator, which is fantastic. I love easy, I love simple. And so I brought it into Illustrator and all the layers were already there, but I did decide to rename them. So we're organized today.
Good for you, good for you.
We're organized. A little pat on the shoulder for that one. So yeah,
absolutely.
So I've named my layers so far, at least based off of what we have, which are the sketch layers. So we have our quote from Janelle Monáe. We have the abstract designs, which may or may not stay, depending on how this poster goes. As we know, we always start with an idea and things kind of change as we go.
Absolutely.
And then we have our woman in the middle with our head wrap. Yeah. So today we're kind of just turning this into a vectorized poster, one step at a time. And so I'm thinking I'll probably start with her. So I'll start with the woman. So I'm just going to hide all my other layers and I'm going to create another layer on top of her and just block off that one just so nothing is touched. I'll also probably, I'll also probably add a little bit an opacity to her, so she's not that vibrant and opaque, just so it's easier. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to be learning a lot from you because I don't usually use Illustrator. So walk me through it like I'm a kid.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, there's different ways you can do it as well. You can also like double click on the layer itself and you can dim it by clicking here and changing the opacity there. But that's a lot of buttons. This is just
less clicks.
I do it this way. Yeah. But there's multiple ways that you can do it.
For sure.
Yeah. So essentially now I'm on this layer. So what I will call this layer, because we're being organized today, we're gonna call this vector, because the other ones are based off of like sketch. So now I'm just gonna call it vector. And essentially the way I do things, I know you can do it with the pencil tool and stuff like that. I tend to use the pen tool a lot more, as well as using the white arrow or the black arrows kind of in conjunction with the pen tool. And I try to make as many shapes as possible, because essentially it just helps with filling things in. And it just makes life simple and easier.
For sure.
So I tend to do things in outline first, and then I'll add in color as towards the end once everything is kind of filled in. But for now, it's just going to be mainly outlines.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So as you do that, I just wanted to interject a little bit to thank Paloma, because Paloma says, "Hi, everyone. I caught the replay of this yesterday and wanted to make a point of being here live today." So that's really sweet of you to catch up just to be here.
Yeah, that's great.
And Anthony Jackson says, "Yay, today is Vector Day."
It's the best part.
It's happening.
The best part. I'm just gonna add in some colors. Let's go the default one.
Yeah, I'm curious. How do you usually go about choosing your colors?
I actually learned recently watching a video on another illustrator working in Adobe Illustrator, and they use this tool right here, which is the color themes that comes with Adobe. And I've been like super fascinated by it. I tend to go into the explore section of it here, and you can essentially just type in any type of keyword that you would think would go with what you want to do. So if you wanted to do, let's say, skin tones, which we will have to do, you can type in skin tones, press enter, and then it gives you like an array of colors that could be skin tones, could match with skin tones, etc. So this is lately what I've been using. But before that, I would do a lot of just, let's try with the main colors that Adobe comes with, or I would check like Pantones and just go through the Pantone section, or just kind of just go through the sliders here and just play around with things. But using the theme, the color themes with Adobe has been a lot easier.
For sure. I'm very grateful that you say that, because the color team at Adobe would be so happy that you're like giving them a little shout out, because they work really hard on those tools.
Props to them for doing that, because thank you. As someone who finds it a little harder to work with color, this has been a lifesaver for sure.
Nice. Yes.
So yeah, I'm just gonna let's start with the blue. Let's do a blue color. So I'm just gonna duplicate as much as possible, trying not to have to recreate things, just to make my life a little easier, and also making it as symmetrical as possible. Yeah.
Is there something like a symmetry tool in Illustrator? Because I know there's one for Photoshop.
I think there is. I just don't know how to use it, and I don't think I've ever used it, to be quite honest with you. I just kind of I tend to group things a lot. So let's say if I group this and then I take both of them and I just align them to be centered, type of thing like that.
Perfect. Yeah.
But there probably is. I've never used it, to be honest.
For sure. Well, it's really satisfying to watch them zhuzh into place like that. Just like,
yeah.
But everybody has their own way of doing things. Even if there is a tool for a specific use, it doesn't mean that it's the tool you want to use.
You want to use, exactly.
So many different ways.
Exactly. I agree.
Absolutely.
So one way that's great too, because the same way how I kind of did this sketch was I created the 3 circles and then I erased it. So I'm going to kind of do the same concept. I have the 3 circles and I'm going to go into here, which is the Pathfinder section. And this one here kind of groups all your shapes together as long as they're overlapping. So I'm just going to click this one and now it creates one full shape.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cute. I love it.
I'll keep it like that for now. Maybe I'll cut it so that way we just see the outline of her nose, but for now we'll keep it. But at least now we have the shape of her nose.
Perfection.
Yeah. Yeah. And then...
Oh, by the way, Shauna says, I always love when artists admit that color is hard, because color is hard, y'all.
It is hard. It really is.
Absolutely.
You agree.
Paco says, Pathfinder for the win.
Yes.
This the Pathfinder tool or like Pathfinder the show.
Yeah, so many different Pathfinders. So here I've just kind of made one side, and I've made it very angled, even though the sketch is really curved, because I do like to use the actual little options that come in within a segment or a line. Once you have the white arrow selected, you see the little dot.
Yeah.
So you can click and drag that and kind of curve it out.
Oh, that's so cool. That's very different from the tool, I think.
So yeah, so I tend to do that a lot more than just trying to curve it myself. I mean, before that option was there, I would definitely curve it myself, but it kind of makes it more streamlined and more even. So I tend to just use the tools that Illustrator provides. But before that, I'm just going to flip this one. So I'm going to reflect it. So all I did was I right clicked. I say right click, but this whole time I'm not using a mouse. I'm actually using the trackpad on my
no way.
On my laptop. I haven't used the mouse since school, and I've just gotten used to it. At one point I was like, I should get a mouse, and I was like, but do you really need it? So I just use the trackpad. Yeah,
I'll send you one of these vertical mouses. They're really good for your hand or wrist.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that would probably be better for my wrist. That's a good point.
If you're making a million clicks, but it's, every workflow is like what you're comfortable with is cool, but like I just want you to be healthy. That's the only other thing.
Very true. That's a good point. So I made this line segment with the pen tool. So right now I'm just going to right click on it, go to transform and hit reflect. And before I click OK, I'm going to click copy, so essentially it's going to keep my original and just reflect the copy.
Gotcha.
Once I do that, now I have these two, and I'm going to grab it with a black arrow, grab it here. And when it aligns with another point, you'll see that the arrow changes white. So that's how I know it's exactly on the exact same anchor point.
So fancy.
Now we technically have just two shapes, but what I want to do is I want to join them. So if I use my white arrow, and since I know the points are here, I'm just going to click and drag just to select both of them. I'm going to right click on it. As you can see, it's selected because this one is blue, this anchor point, and this one's white. And I'm just going to right click and go join.
Nice.
So now this is going to be one whole line.
So does that get rid of the point at the bottom, or is it just one point instead of two overlapping?
Technically there should be 2 points there if I'm not mistaken, but sometimes depending on how you do it, it may just be one. So no, it's just one.
That's cool.
Depending on how you do it, if you do it if you do it too close to each other or they overlap and they go past each other, then it'll keep both of them. But luckily this was right on top of each other, so it turned it into one. And so now we have kind of like the shape of her face. I'm just going to select all, keeping in mind that this and this needs to be grouped.
The center point in the middle of the circle makes her look like that
shock.
A
little terrifying, the shock from yesterday.
Exactly.
So I selected them all and I just centered them just to make sure that everything's aligned. The top of her head is not technically visible because she has the head wrap on. So I'll keep it like this for now, but what you could do just to finish it off is you can use an ellipse, aka a circle, and just making sure you're holding option in the middle to make sure it's holding the ratio from the center, clicking shift to make sure that of course it stays as a perfect circle. You can just stretch this out to here, make sure everything's aligned, bring it up higher if you need to, and then you can cut the circle from here to here and then join those two parts to create like a whole head shape if you wanted to do it that way.
Oh, so clean, so fast. I love it.
Using shapes as much as possible.
Absolutely.
But for now we'll just keep it like that, just for the sake that her head is not technically visible from the top. And what we're going to do is while everything is selected, hold on to the white arrow, and now you can see all those little blue points pop up. So we're going to click and drag, and it's going to kind of even out
all at once.
The rest of the face.
Nice. By the way, Steph said, wow, these are cool tricks. Love that corner radius move. So much easier than manually pulling the curve out. So I totally agree. It looks very satisfying as well.
It does. And then we can kind of just go like, okay, we're getting there. One step at a time. So I think her head wrap is probably going to be the funnest part. Probably the more challenging parts, but again, I'm still going to use the pen tool throughout. So I'm going to start, let's start with the wrap here. So same concept, I'm just going to keep it straight. So just click, click, click. I think we have it, so it's like that a bit.
Which is funny because you naturally drew it in kind of an angular fashion. Yeah, he got the easy points there. I wonder, do you think that's because you're used to using the pen tool and things like that, so you kind of make it ready to point and click?
Probably, yeah. It's not something I ever really thought about, but now that you say that, it makes sense. So yeah, for sure. So
your brain is streamlining.
Yeah. So this is one shape, and this is just the line, just for the sake that it's the middle section in there. We're just gonna add. Again, I try to use shapes as much as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't really work out too. But you can always turn things into full shapes after if you really wanted to. It's just for now, we'll just keep it like this.
So what's the difference between a shape and a non-shape, I guess, in the program?
Yeah. So a shape would be something that's completely closed, whether it's a circle, whether it's a square, whether it's something you use with a pen tool like this, but you always want to make sure you end it. And when you can tell that it's closing or ending, because near the actual pen symbol, there's a little circle, and that's showing that you're closing it. So that would be a shape. So anything that's technically closed off, which can be filled, is a shape. And then a line would just be something that could be really close to it, but if it doesn't close or if it doesn't end, it's still technically just a line.
Gotcha.
You can fill it technically by just doing this, but if you go into your outline view, which kind of shows you the basic structure of your artwork by going Command Y, or I think it's Control Y for a PC, you can see that it's not closed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool process pick too. Like if you want more stuff to post, then you could just show like, here's the pen tool lines.
Exactly. Yeah. So I just deleted all that, and we're just going to go back to the head wrap. Okay.
Hey, Alana. Alana's saying hi to everyone. And Anthony Jackson says, this reminds me of what animators do. They start with blue pencil and then draw dark on top. I think you're just using blue to like see the line basically, and then you can change everything as you go.
Exactly. Just the color to stand out a little bit.
It's a beautiful blue.
It is.
I've been reading a book about colors and like a lot of stories that surround them / history involved with the pigment for like paint, if that's what the author wants to talk about for that color.
Right. Okay.
And it's absolutely fascinating. I'd recommend it to everyone. It's called The Secret Lives of Colors.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Definitely. It's a fun read, especially before bed, because it's like a page or two maybe for each color.
Yeah. Nice. So right now, if we look at it this way, this kind of looks like it's a shape, but it's not, because one end is here and one end is here. So what I like to do is I'll go in the outline view, which was again Command Y, and I'll just follow the same shape as the one on top just to close it off.
Nice.
So if we see it's kind of closed off there, but as we see, it's not overlapping. So I tend to like to make it overlap so that way you don't see it as just two separate shapes.
Clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm getting this like
Y, goes
the
like
minimalist vibe where you have like just the lines on this like vast canvas. Ooh.
Yeah. Coming along.
Love
and
it.
Then we have here, so what I'll do is I'll just bring up this line a little to the top. Here, I'll create her ear, which kind of just looks like an oval. So I'll start off with a shape. Place it about here, and then I'll use the scissor tool right here, and I'll just cut it really close to where I want it to end. So about here, and maybe about here. And then I'll use the white arrow tool to click the area I want to delete, and that's one ear, but we want to close that into a shape, so I'm just gonna click just to close it up a bit.
Love it.
Doesn't have to be perfect, because this is something that can go in regards to like layers up within your artwork. This can go behind it, so it doesn't need to be exactly perfect, but we want it to line up as much as possible.
And the satisfaction.
Yeah.
I'll never get over that. I'm just like, click. Yes.
Yeah. And then because we want to make her ears as symmetrical as possible, we're going to right click again, go to transform, reflect, making sure we click copy, so it only reflects our copy. And then we're going to click and drag and bring it over here.
Okay, so if you didn't say copy, then it would reflect both of them, and they both be
it would just reflect one. So since you're only selecting one item, it would reflect whatever you have. So if I just go transform, reflect, and I didn't hit copy, I would go okay. It would just reflect that one item. It wouldn't create a copy and then reflect it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Always like just the smallest differences from Photoshop. Like, interesting.
I know. Anytime I'm in Photoshop, sometimes I'm always just thinking like Illustrator brain. And it's always so frustrating sometimes, but it's all good. So now I'm gonna do earrings. And these are pretty much just ovals. So I'm just gonna, instead of holding shift, because I don't want it to be a perfect circle, I'm just gonna hold option to kind of like create it from the inside out.
Yeah, oval it out.
Yeah, exactly, about that.
And this is a really good hotkey for
I know, right?
doing stuff like that.
I agree. I'm just gonna, since it's an oval and it's pretty symmetrical, I'm just gonna duplicate it, which is the same thing in Photoshop, by just holding the option key and clicking and dragging.
Nice. Yeah.
It's always great when things overlap in apps.
For sure. I know. Well, it's like, oh, this is like really streamlined and easy in this one, but then like you're used to the other one. There are just so many like
there are,
you know, once people get used to a workflow, and there's so many different professions that rely on these programs to do what they do every day for their work. And so like it's really hard to please everyone and to find a tool that works for everyone.
It's true. I agree. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to turn this box into her neck, essentially.
Nice.
I'm just going to, since we have it as an angle, I'm just going to bring this in a little bit. And then maybe bring it more to the side.
It's funny, I wasn't expecting this, but this is reminding me of 3D modeling a little bit, where they use basic shapes to start and then like make them fit what they need. But just sense. For the square, like you start with the basic.
Exactly. So I cut it just to make sure that it was just going to be one-sided, just to make my life easier. And what you can do, which is really good, is you can select certain anchor points, not necessarily the whole shape or all the anchor points, but with the white arrow, I selected just this one. And I'm going to click and hold shift and select this one. So now only those 2 anchor points are being highlighted, and I can align just those 2 anchor points. So if I were just to go into...
so they're up and down even.
Exactly. So I'll just make sure that they're aligned to the right. Axis. Exactly. And so now, I mean, they seem to be already like that, but I just did it just to make sure.
There was a tiny little movement.
And now I'm just going to do the same thing, reflect, copy, and just bring this over. And we want to make sure that these are shapes, so we're going to join and join.
What would happen if you did the top and the bottom point there and said join for both of them? Would it like join all 4 points?
It's like, it'd probably do something like this, I assume.
Yeah,
let's try it and see what happens.
Experimentation.
I'm all into experimenting. Why not? Or maybe it might be like, does not compute, cannot do.
Oh, it breaks immediately. Oh, remember to save your work.
Right? Oh, I didn't do that. I clicked join and it
was like, nah, it did you don't know what you want.
it did absolutely nothing.
I'm gonna not. How about
funny.
Says the program.
Right? It's like, you seem like you're confused.
I think that's a fun thing to like know about a program, especially if there is something that could possibly like, oh, if I could take all the points and join them and it worked, then it could make everything really fast. So it's like, it's worth experimenting sometimes.
That's true. For her shoulders, I'm just going to create a straight line, and then I'm going to add a point kind of like in the middle. Let's just say here maybe. And then I'm just going to use the anchor point tool here within the pen tool and just like curve it out.
Oh.
So technically it's still straight because I held the shift while I did that, but now I can use the white arrow and just bring this up a bit.
How perfect.
Yeah. And so now what we want to do is try to make this as aligned as possible, right? Another way is you can just drag in a guideline. So just using your ruler, I click save just to be safe first.
Good job. Tell everyone. Save your work.
Right? Yeah. So you just bring in an anchor. A guide. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to unlock the guide to make sure that it's centered. You can unlock it, and then you can also use the alignment tools. So make sure it's centered to your artboard. So I'm just going to center it. So now it's centered, and then I'm just going to right click again and lock guides. So now we know this is our center point. If we wanted to use that instead of always aligning, you can always use that as your center point as well.
For sure.
Yeah, or we can group this part at least. Or no, actually, let's do it this way. Let's just see what happens when I select most of the stuff. Center it to the artboard. Okay, this is where we're at.
Nice.
So let's see if we do everything centered to the artboard. Nope, that doesn't work. That's why I want to make sure this is grouped and this is grouped. And then this is going to be kind of all over the place, but for now we'll just group just the knot.
Right. And if you center everything, and then you could slightly like touch it to the side for individual elements, right?
Exactly, yeah. So the artwork isn't very centered. So what we'll do is we will see if we center her. No, that's centered to them. Okay. So just to make sure we're on our guide, I'm just going to nudge the actual sketch over a little bit.
Perfect.
Okay, that's good. Back to our vector layer. Okay, so this is what we have so far.
Nice.
And now what we're going to do, we're going to add the lines on the inside. Yeah.
Just a reminder, in a little bit over an hour, we're going to be doing an artist spotlight. And this is where we show off one of you guys in our segment where we basically get to show your work and just gush over how amazing you are and say, hey, go follow this person. There is a tab above the chat that's called Artist Spotlight, and that is to nominate yourself or an artist that you love or appreciate, and just put them in there or yourself, and for the future you will be on the list for the Artist Spotlight.
Very cool.
Yeah. By the way, Marianne Nelson says, I LOVE love your positive messages and designs, Danielle. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Definitely. And she also says, also, you and Anna behave like old friends. I noticed yesterday. Did you know each other before yesterday?
We did not. She's just really great to talk to and super easy to talk to.
Right back at you. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it just worked out really well.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Seth was looking for the book, the Secret Lives of Color. Secret Lives of Color. There we go. And he was linking to Powell's, which is our local bookstore over here in Oregon. Always support local if you can.
Definitely. I agree. So I've added those lines to kind of fill in her wrap a little bit. Let's add her neckline. Again, using more shapes.
Mm-hmm. Kendall says, oh, align tools. I'm sure if you work in this stuff all the time, it's like, whoa. Like all the familiar things, the marks of align and all that jazz.
So I just use the scissors. Apparently I did not use the scissors. There we go.
Wait, the scissors? Oh
yeah, I use the scissors tool. Yeah, just to cut the oval or ellipse. Just gonna cut this one a little bit more.
Snip, snip.
Snip, snip. Okay, so I just use Command 0 just to get the full shape or the full page or artboard in there. Okay, so this is what we got.
The lovely part about this also is that once you have the base down of like, this is where I know I want the lines to go, what I want to fill, then you can make the lines and the color and the fill, all that stuff, like exactly what you want. And you can change a lot about it. Even if like, yeah, it's just having the space layer is like setting the foundation.
Exactly. So let's just center that. I'm just going to give her some kind of ending point to her body.
What? No.
How could you?
She is endless.
Oh, no, it didn't. No, it didn't cut it properly.
Snip, snip, Illustrator. Come on.
Yeah, do your thing.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And did you learn Illustrator when you were going to school for graphic design?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
So we were taught the top 5 programs. So like you have Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign for page layout. We were taught After Effects. And at one point we were taught Flash, but that's not the thing anymore. But we were taught that as well. But yeah, so they gave us
remember Flash.
Yeah. They gave us a pretty good starting point, personally, I think.
Nice.
So I'm just going to join these points.
Nice. Full shape.
Yeah.
It's happening.
I think we have something extra here. Okay.
Little hanger on.
So selecting them and join. Okay. So we have this as a shape, right? We have this as a shape. And this is just a line. We'll leave it like that for now. I'm just going to work on the other parts for now, and we'll get back to her afterwards. But we'll work on the abstract section. So let's say abstract vector. We'll lock you. First, we will dim you, give you an opacity, let's say 40%. And not sure if I'm still going to keep them, but we're still going to at least recreate them for now.
For sure.
Yeah, and these are all pretty simple in the sense that they're just a whole bunch of shapes. So we have our we have our circles. Let's add a let's add the blue again. So yeah, so we have a circle.
Shauna and Kendall are, by the way, just talking about Flash and Animate, reminiscing about the good days.
Yeah.
Flash. Oh man, it's good times.
The good times. And we got a circle there, and then these crosses are essentially just rectangles.
Easy peasy.
And just to make sure I'm using the exact same size, I'm just going to duplicate it and
nice, yeah.
Turn that over. And then I will align them, not to the page, but to their selection. And now I can group that and just copy.
Amazing.
Yeah. Make life as easy as possible, as much as you possibly can.
I always think that too. I always think that I'm gonna I'll be smart, duplicate what I can, and then I just end up drawing it anyway. It's like, well, darn it.
Props to you for that.
Oh my gosh, I can't stop my hand. I guess it's a weakness.
That's funny.
Oh, Kendall says, "Rip Neopets old site." Oh, was that Flash animated?
Neopets. I loved Neopets.
I've always heard a ton about Neopets. I feel like I missed out big time in
they were fun.
Adolescence.
They were definitely fun.
Yeah. One of the artists that I'm acquainted with, but also just admire her art so much is Claire Hummel, and everybody in the art community is like, oh, Claire Hummel, she worked on Neopets.
Oh, did she? That's so cool.
Like way back in the day. It's like,
that's super cool.
You designed my, I don't know if it was childhood, but I'm not sure about the time period there, but
yeah, I'm just like, how old was I? Was I a preteen maybe? I don't know. How old was I? When did Neopets come out?
I would have been obsessed. I'm just so disgruntled that I missed the train.
So for this curve thing, this interesting.
The little, what would you call that? Loop-de-loo or?
Yeah, loop-de-loo. I'm just kind of freestyling it for now, and then I'm just gonna go in after and fix it up.
Nice.
To kind of get the bare bones of it. And one thing I like in Illustrator when it comes to creating lines with the pen tool, you know how in Photoshop when you create a line you can't just abruptly stop it so it continues, it starts over almost. So to give you an example, you can do this and this and that, and then the next line, as you can see in the preview, it seems kind of curved because it's just following that same idea or the same course that it thinks. But if you click the point again in Illustrator, it starts all over again.
Oh,
and so now you can then go to straight lines. So I wish that was in Photoshop.
Absolutely. Yeah, that seems really intuitive and cool.
Yeah.
You could make this jazzy shapes. Have you seen oh golly, what's it called? Soul? Yes. The Pixar movie?
Yes.
It reminds me of the line spirits. I don't know what they would be called. The ones Great Before. Well, no spoilers in case anybody's seen it, but there are some abstract designs for characters which are very, very cool, and I feel like they kind of use that that language of like curve to straight kind of thing.
I saw like not the making of, but I think I kind of like behind the scenes like
Yeah,
video where they describe like how they kind of created those
wire
characters.
sculptures.
Yeah, it was so cool.
I love it.
Really cool. I was just like, I wish I could think of that.
Right? Well, it's that intersection of like tactile sculpture, but then in a digital format, and it came out so good.
So well.
If you guys haven't seen Soul, highly recommend.
You definitely should. It's literally great for all ages.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Sure I think I cried twice, maybe.
Oh, at least.
It was great.
I feel like I've been watching so many videos about it after the fact as well, and it's just talking about like the concepts in it are very deep.
Yeah, no, they are. You have to almost watch it a few times just to really grasp it all. Because like the first time you're just like watching it full, kind of trying to get as much as you can, but then the second, the third time you gotta like really sit down and like focus. For sure. Huh, okay, cool.
Is this a metaphor for that? Wait, is this
right? And then you create your own metaphors.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
Kendall says, I spent way too much time researching Neopets to learn UI UX for a project or for a personal project. So I have way random facts now about the company. You know, the ins and outs of Neopets, the politics that went on.
Right.
I would love a history book on that, Kendall. Could you please write that?
Imagine the history of Neopets.
I want history of internet. I feel like there's just so much happening all the time that like so many people aren't privy to, because like you could be a part of a community of an online site and there's like a lot going on. It's like its own little society, but that's other people are like, I have no idea what
you're talking about. Yeah, no, that's really true.
Wow, those came together so quickly. Great job.
Thanks. So those are the abstract shapes that might stay.
Maybe. We'll see.
Huge maybe.
If they're like interfering with the text at all, then we could definitely like do like low contrast maybe in the background or something like that to keep them. But
depending on how the words come out, because this might be an art piece all on its own.
Absolutely. I know you chose a lot of letters, but it's a great message.
Did. Yeah, it was all about the message. So now it's time to trace the letters.
And again, this is a quote from Janelle Monáe, which is, embrace what makes you unique, even if it makes others uncomfortable.
Yes.
So good.
And I'm going to make sure to write her name at the bottom when we're done as well. So we have
more letters.
That I'll probably just use the type tool and just
nice. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to make things a little easier.
Absolutely. No, I think what do you call it? Like shortcuts. It's not necessarily like even easier. It's just
shortcut.
Yeah, making it fast. Hopefully.
Yeah. The key there is the hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. You never know how it'll turn out. Just like, you know, we don't know anything. Like to assume that you know what's going to happen in a piece is kind of like that saying, was it like make plans and God laughs or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, yeah, you don't know what's going to happen. Just embrace the unknown.
Yeah, you thought you were completely wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Illustrator's looking at you like you thought.
Yeah, exactly.
I have been working in watercolor lately, and that's like the ultimate tool of unknown, where you're just like, if you fight it, it'll fight you.
The watercoloring in Fresco is so cool.
It's amazing.
Like, it just seems so realistic.
It really does.
It's not, but just the idea that it could be even similar to realism is mind-boggling to me.
You know,
I find it so cool.
I showed Fresco to a group of people at SCBWI, which is the children's book conference we were talking about yesterday. And they like immediately were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, but also asking questions like, is there an effect where you could put salt on the paper? Because that's like one of the things that you do, like can do with watercolor. It soaks up the pigment to make like a really saturated point.
Okay.
It's very interesting, but it was so funny how they were
that's
like,
a good question though.
Yeah,
I never would have even thought about that. That's probably
who would, except for watercolor users.
Right?
So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, it's amazing right now, but it could go even further. And I
can only imagine. Yeah.
like people immediately were like, oh yeah, it's watercolor. Like they've achieved it. Done.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and Kyle Webster, who actually is going to be here later today doing a stream, he does a lot of drawing streams. They're absolutely wonderful, and the chat is really integrated in them. So if you guys want to be even more like immersed, then come back for Kyle's stream. But the thing about Fresco is he works so hard on those brushes. He was on that team making those watercolors feel like they sink into the page and all that.
Oh, nice.
So thank you to Kyle. And the entire Fresco team. They are all doing great work.
Definitely. Wouldn't have been able to create this piece without you guys.
Exactly. Yeah, we sketched this yesterday in Fresco, by the way. Ferry says, sorry I'm late. There is no late here. It's all good. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Kendall says, Fresco watercolor is chef's kiss.
It is. And I'm not even like a huge watercolor type of artist, but like I'm just like, wow, amazed.
That's the thing. Okay, I have a friend, Tammy, who is he was a former Adobe Creative resident, or I should say alumni. You're never former, you're just alumni. And he is a photographer and graphic designer. Like he uses his photos and makes them into some, like a new art piece, basically.
Yeah. Cool.
But he's very interested in drawing, and I swear Fresco got him more excited than anything.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. I can imagine it. I believe it.
Yeah. Just like, ooh, watercolor. Yay.
I could do this. I could do that. What?
It's so fun. Oh.
That's cool.
Definitely. And people from other disciplines, I should say. I mean, he's graphic design, so it's like very tied to illustration in a lot of ways, but still like straight up photographers or like even web designers, UI, UX, anybody who is just in the creative world. I feel like they have fun with Fresco, like immediately. Oh my gosh. And have we talked about kids? Sorry, I could go on all day about Fresco and like children love it. It's so fun.
I can only, like seeing, imagine if we had that as a kid.
I know. Okay, I'm mad that it didn't exist when I was in college because I expected it to. I went to design school and I was like, well, I'm going to have something where I could just like draw in my lap, right? It's like, it doesn't exist yet. Ooh.
Your expectations were very high for the time.
Very high. Unrealistically, some might say. But, a few years later, there comes the iPad with touch sensitivity. And I was just like, I'm glad for the students for it. Now. Yeah.
It's really all because of you.
Clearly, yeah. They were like, Anna demands it. Let's make it.
Exactly.
And I was like, about time.
So the great thing about creating letters is that a lot of them are similar to each other. So I took the M and I flipped it upside down. And now we have a W.
Shortcuts. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you can take the letter that you made up here, that's an A, and bring it down here.
So have you made a alphabet ever? Like a master alphabet that you could just be like... I have not.
No, I haven't. One day, but...
We'll start with this piece. You've got a lot of letters. That
true.
You just made,
that is very true. That's a very good point.
I love it.
Think about that. It's a very good point.
Oh, the bird is back.
Oh, I can hear it.
Can you? Oh no. Sorry. It's very happy. There's a bird on my balcony, everyone. We were talking about it before the stream.
That's so cute.
Robzilla's in the chat, throwing Fresco some love.
Yes.
As usual.
Love it.
Oh, and talking about acrylic paint as well in the chat. Awesome. How it dries. Oh, that's another thing. Okay. With a digital tool that mimics traditional ones, it never dries. I mean, unless you want it to, but like it's
right.
That is magic in itself.
Yeah, that is true.
Kendall says creating a typeface is fun. Have you ever thought about? Oh, yeah.
Maybe. A hard maybe. There's just so much work that goes into it, right? And like, even though I'm technically kind of almost starting it now, and I've probably done it multiple times for other pieces, it just, the idea of actually having to finish it and create like a whole alphabet and symbols, and I'm just like,
It's a lot for sure, but I believe in you. You could do it.
Oh, thanks. Props to the people who are creating their own fonts and typefaces.
For sure. Yeah. It's,
Amazing.
I mean, we had an entire typography resident during my residency, and it was Isabel Lee. So go check her out. She's got amazing typography. And I mean, she's just a designer in every right. Very, what would you call it? Like some surreal designs, which are very, very cool and say a statement.
Nice.
I like how the C is just like open.
Yeah, you're just the line for now, and then what I'll do is I'll increase the
oh yeah
font, and I'll just like
so clever. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. Do you see?
Exactly.
That's awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you do that.
It's okay, but
it's really cool.
People might be wondering, so no, it's good. The S's are always the trickiest, I find.
Ooh, yeah, curvy.
Yeah. Well, of course, you're taking on the same attributes as what I previously did. Let's just do this. Okay.
See, I'm curious how many points you use for this, because like creating a smooth curve to me is one of those really difficult things.
It is. It really is. And you always want to do the least amount of anchor points as possible, but then you also want to make it as smooth as possible, and then it's a little bit of a headache, that's for sure. And I will have to fix this more, but for now, this is the S.
I imagine making like a typeface. I love that S, honestly. It's so cute. But the act of making like a typeface, I imagine you would be like, okay, I knocked out like a bunch of the letters, and then like 2 of them give you guff, or it's like
which would
the
be
S.
probably the S. Yeah.
Do you know how long that S took me?
Yeah. Oh, my heart.
My heart, my soul.
My heart. See, the O is the easiest one.
By the way, Amrit is asking, are you reading chats here? Absolutely. By the way, if you're on YouTube watching this, please come over to Behance so we can talk to you in the chat. That would be lovely. And Kendall says, I went to TypeCon, and wow, it's technical compared to lettering. So yeah,
I can only imagine.
I have no idea like exactly the lengths that it's different, but I can imagine.
Yeah, same.
Nor as asking, are you a trackpad or mouse Jedi?
I am a trackpad.
Trackpad, but are you Jedi or Sith? That's the question.
Oh, I'm Jedi? No. Let's go with Jedi.
All right, you are all the Jedi. Kendall says, also, if anyone watches Helvetica the film, oh goodness, that makes you rethink a lot of design. Interesting.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Did you?
Yeah,
what's
like
about?
Years ago, essentially how the font was created. And it's technical.
I bet.
at least that's the one I saw. Maybe I assume it's the same thing that they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm betting. Kendall watches everything design, so she knows. She always knows.
That's nice.
Shauna, who is a hand letterer, says, the first font I made, I went over the top and created 3 versions where you had alternates. So if you had repeating letters, it would switch out the following letter for an alternate, so it mimicked.
That's amazing.
Whoa. Shauna, do you use it a lot?
Fantastic.
I hope you do.
See, that's goals.
Seriously, I know. Yeah. Shauna's just over the top all the time.
No, but that's good. Like, if I'm gonna make a font, like I want it to be that, which is why I'm just like, no, too much work.
Oh, thank you. Clever Devlin says, I'm a typesetter, and there's so much to a font that is technical, and I appreciate good fonts. I'm all for readability. I guess that is the most important point.
Yeah,
like,
very
is
true.
It readable?
Yeah. Especially if you want it to be like a body type of font, and not necessarily a header.
Oh, Kendall is saying the W on the what is missing the front part, by the way.
W. Oh, I just took it away, didn't I?
Stealing from your own font.
Let's just reflect you and copy.
Yeah, and what a beautiful thing. You also took it from the M, so you'll never lose it.
Very true. There we go.
Thank you, Kendall.
Thanks for noticing.
Thank you, Danielle.
Let's pull it out a bit more. All right. Let's leave it like that. Okay, and then we are at the N is decent. We'll keep it like that for now. The Q is essentially an O with a line through it.
Always good to know.
Right? Making life as easy as possible. That's the moral of today.
Absolutely. Well, you see how many letters you have.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you make more and more work?
Exactly. But just like in life in general, you know? Like,
absolutely,
make your life easier.
I agree.
Let's save. Always save, guys.
Yeah, save your work. Cody Bear has a way of saying it. I think it was like save your work, drink water, and stretch, something like that. So
drinking water.
Let's do all the things. Yeah, remember to save, stretch, and drink.
Stretch.
Cheers to you. Got my Adobe Live, what do you call this? Water bottle today.
Oh, ooh. Nice. Very cool.
It's got some pretty cool lettering. It actually reminds me of this because it's like lines that overlap. You probably can't see it, but
I can see it a little bit. Yeah, I can see it a little bit. We'll take you.
Yes, repeat.
yes.
I've done that every once in a while, mostly just when I do like very rough hand lettering, not at all like professional, but
yeah, same.
It's always about repeating. Like if I've already done a letter, I'm like, thank goodness. Exactly. Got it.
And I just took this from, I mean, it's a little bigger, but I took this from the W.
Nice.
And now it's a V.
Multi-purpose.
Exactly.
That's basically understanding the base of what you want of the letters.
Yeah.
If you know where it crosses over and you're like, okay, these points will align here.
Exactly.
Fairy says, save your work, drink water, stretch. Yeah. Wade says, sip and save. Nora says, and eat ice cream. Okay, I can get on board with that. Where's the ice cream?
We're making all different types of versions.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? James, my partner, is very excited about tonight. We watched this How It's Made episode. We're on a How It's Made kick. Do you know how it's made?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So it's like factory processes of making things. Exactly. We saw the process of making, basically they were saying like a very popular chocolate cookie with cream filling.
Oreos. You're talking about Oreos.
However, this is a different brand that's not actually Oreos. And yeah, I don't know why they didn't say this name of brand, because
I guess they didn't want to like give away the secrets.
Oh, super secret when it's stamped on the literal cookie. But the thing is, they show the packaging at the end of it. And so as we were watching it being made, we were like, ooh, that looks really good. Like really good. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Because we haven't had Oreos in a long time. Like we try to keep junk food out of the house and all that. But it's one of James's favorite things, like Oreos weakness, that and Reese's. But anyways, so it was Newman's O's. Was the brand of this, and we looked it up, and apparently they're like organic, no high fructose corn syrup, supposed to be like better ingredients than Oreos, but like taste like Oreos, but like all the comments said this is better than Oreos. So we ordered some. They're coming tonight, and James is very excited. He's like, first milk, then ice cream with it. So there's a plan already in place.
I'm excited for you guys. It's crazy how like it's crazy how a lot of things make us excited these days, and like it's just it's the simplest of things, and it's just like, we're getting cookies today. Yes.
It's out of the norm. Maybe I can actually track this as like a point in time that I remember. Yes. But yeah, the littlest things. Do you have anything like that you're looking forward to?
I'm picking up shirts today, actually.
What kind of shirts?
Based off of my, if it doesn't align, I'm gonna have to decline quote.
Yes!
It's a black shirt with the white ink. So I'm picking up that today. So that's exciting.
Oh my gosh. So you have like a producer of these shirts near you?
Yeah, it's the first time working with this silk screener, but it's a silk screener here in Montreal.
That is so cool.
So I'm excited. Yeah. Yay. That's something I'm looking forward to.
I need to ask you questions about this. Silk screen is so fun. Like just the idea of it.
We had to do that back in school as well. They taught us so many things in my program, which I love, like like we had to draw, we had to create, like not just graphic design elements, but we had to actually create art essentially. So we had models that would come in, we had to do sketches, we had to do sculptures, we had to do so many things, and we also had to do silk screening. So I know the idea and the process and how it's done, and props to them too, because it couldn't be me.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a lot of work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's there's a point to hiring other people to do a lot of things, because when you do it professionally, it comes out nice.
Exactly. So hopefully, like I've seen a couple samples of them, but I haven't seen the whole full batch. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully they look really good.
Oh, there's nothing more satisfying than holding like your own merch in your hands, whatever you want to call it, things that you made.
Yeah.
Can we expect a picture of that on your socials possibly?
Definitely. But I wanna like do the whole like proper photo shoot, all that kind of fun stuff. But I'll probably do like an Insta
messy one. No.
I'll probably post on Insta stories when I'm picking them up. So you guys can definitely check that out later today.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have
we have to have at least one of these letters be like a unique letter, and so it like aligns with the message.
Yeah, that's true. Like this U, maybe.
Yes, I love it. The U and U. Oh, it's too perfect.
That's amazing. Look at you. You're quick with it. That's good. That was like a millisecond of a thought, and you're just like, that.
No, it was you. I mean, you called it out.
I love it.
Oh, it's too good though. I feel like the creative process is just so fun.
It is. It really is. And it's fun when you're doing with other people too.
I know. Well, this is like, I'm just part of the audience along with you guys. So Danielle's made it abundantly clear that this is like a group project kind of thing. So if you want to have input, feel free.
Definitely. I mean, someone noticed the fact that the W was missing a little bar. So like,
Kendall's got a little marking.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Mariana's saying Oreos. Now I have to dig out those Girl Scout Thin Mints. Oh, Thin Mints are so good. Oh,
we don't have Girl Scouts here.
Can I send you some? Because have you ever had any?
No, but I'm also not really a cookie person, which is.
Are you a sweets person or?
I'm sweets, but candy. Like I'm more of a candy than a chocolate type of gal.
Interesting. We're opposites. Yeah. But I'll send you candy.
You guys have so many different candies that I wish we had here, though.
Do you need some? What do you want?
Probably.
Give me a list.
I might have to make you a list.
No, I'm so down. I want this Canada, US, trade.
Yeah. And then I think we have ketchup chips, but you guys don't?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've never seen those in store.
And to me, it's just how do you not have that? But I get it.
Yeah, I feel we have, especially in Portland, a lot of unique brands of chips of different flavors and makes and all that jazz, but no ketchup. It's just
you guys are kind of close to Canada, so you would assume that they would at least.
Yeah, we're literally 6 hours from Vancouver, and it's just no ketchup here. The border stops the ketchup from flowing.
Apparently.
Okay? The syrup and the ketchup stay north.
Apparently. Okay, so all the letters are mapped out, and a lot of them are going off the page. But the point is that we've mapped them out, and that's all that really matters at the moment.
All we need. I love it.
So I'm going to hide my guides just because they're causing me a lot of stress with all the lines.
No stress.
And so now I'm just gonna flip things over here and just fill them in, and hopefully they look like letters. And then these ones that are just lines, I'm gonna add a bigger stroke,
make them thick.
Yeah, make them a little thick, and try to make it so that it actually looks like it's part of it. It has to be a bit thicker so it matches a bit more.
Oh, this is so satisfying.
Yeah. Yes. And then we'll be able to actually turn these strokes into shapes as well afterwards, which will be easier to manipulate and make sure that they keep the exact same thickness and width that we want to have. So
interesting. So the C, how you did that's going to become a shape where it's outlined.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Oh my gosh, the power.
Right? Do all the things. So for now, I'll just leave it like that. So I'll say, give or take, this should be about the same thing. Or what I
once you basically find it. Streamline, look at that.
Making life as easy as possible. Oops, lost that one. There we go. Okay, so this is gonna be flipped. And generally speaking, what I'll want to do as well is just like group these shapes together. So I can also flatten them and make them all one shape. But since we're still in the process of like manipulating them and moving them around, I still want to keep them as separate shapes for now.
For sure.
Yeah.
So like that edge of the bee, if it's like not exactly lined up, you can still shush it. Yeah.
Exactly. So you should probably be a little thicker. Give or take, maybe pull you out a little bit more.
I always find that little R like diagonal. It's interesting.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I have issues with it whenever I am trying to hand letter, which is rare, but everyone.
I get what you mean. I definitely get it.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. I'm gonna group all that, and then all of you guys. Flip.
You should seriously, like, this needs to be TikTok kind of stuff where it's just like, you want to see. Like...
TikTok is so hard.
Have you like to do or to watch?
Oh no, so I can watch it endlessly, which is never a good thing because I've been on it for hard like once an hour straight, and I was like, no, this is not good.
Thank you.
But it's just so hard to do just for the sake of like video editing. I find personally, at least, like it's
sure
consuming, and all of the transitions.
All the transitions, you guys.
Those transitions. I mean.
Oh man, I could see one, just one being like, you know, I don't know, see these lines, I'm gonna fill them in with magic, and then bring, and it just like pew, fills them in, and then you're like, Illustrator. I love TikTok done.
I could do that, yeah. I actually have a TikTok for the plushies.
No way! Oh my gosh!
They have all the things.
An Insta and
they have a Twitter, they have an Instagram, they have a TikTok, and they have Facebook as well.
You're Zuri and Dre's media manager.
They're that's essentially what my job title should be at this point.
That's too good.
I should just change it to I'm the plushies manager, essentially. Yes.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Zuri and Dre, we showed them at the beginning of the oh yeah, there they are. Woo! Zuri and Dre. These are plushies that Danielle has designed. They are beautiful. Get them. They're so good.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you have them. Like you can tangibly like hold them.
Move them around, yeah.
It's just so different when you have it.
It's true though, it's true. So for now, we'll just leave you as that.
Kendall says, I put a screen time limit on TikTok for 5 minutes because it's too addictive.
It is. It really is. And sometimes like super helpful. Like I've learned a few things on TikTok too. And like when you're in a rabbit hole of learning different things or like just being introduced to different ideals and stuff or different thoughts, it's just like, I can watch one more. No, I can watch another one. I can watch another one. It's fine.
It's one more. It's like a few seconds. I mean,
exactly. Exactly.
By the way, Kendall has apparently some beef with her mom, saying that she just got reminded by our conversation that her mom still hasn't bought Mother Scout cookies. Girl Scout cookies for her family. She promised to a good month ago. She even shipped them to other family in other states already, but not for them. Oh my gosh.
I'm holding out, Mom.
Kendall, you just got to go for it. Order them yourself. Come on. If you want something, you go for it.
You gotta do it yourself sometimes.
But yeah, if you like any kind of cookie, I would be very happy to send you some Girl Scout cookies of that flavor. And what candy do we have? I know we've got a lot of Kit Kat flavors, but you said not chocolate. So like
I like fuzzy peaches and like melon candies, like those are my jam.
So the like gummy kind
like
of things.
Jube type of gummy candies. Yeah.
Nice. Have you ever had Treetop brand gummies?
No, I don't think so.
Those are my favorite. They're really good. Like fruity flavors that don't feel super artificial.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. But they're not necessarily like a Halloween style candy or anything like that. It's more like I don't know what you would put in a kid's lunch, maybe.
Okay,
In the
yeah.
States, I don't know.
Okay, no, yeah, I think I know what you're talking, like Scooby snacks, like those.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
candies. Yeah. Okay.
exactly. Yes, you got it.
Yeah, I love me some Scooby snacks.
I mean, how could you not love Scooby snacks? Oh my
Right?
gosh. James will sing the Scooby-Doo theme song all day long if I get him started on it. So
That's
silly.
cute.
There is a YouTube video, by the way, of all the Scooby intro songs, and
Is
they just
there?
throughout the decades. It's fascinating.
Oh, that is cool.
The change in style and the change in music.
Very cool.
Visual style and music style.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're working on the S's and everything. So this is the S time.
The S's are the worst.
But you only need one, right?
I need like 3.
But you can duplicate, right?
True. Yes, this is true. I think I like this one the most so far. So bye.
Delete.
Yeah.
Power. My goodness.
Leave power. But I will reduce the S. She's like a little crooked, this S. She's a little. She's also thicker than the others, but that's okay. For now, at least.
Absolutely.
We still gotta maneuver a whole bunch of letters around after this. This is just to get us started.
Like, you got rid of the end.
Completely changing the letters. I've created new words as well. So this is cool.
I would like that. Just like you add words while we're talking.
Right?
It's like I didn't even notice. Wow.
And we're gonna group you.
Kendall says, I'm holding a grudge because my mom was the cookie leader for our troop. And I remember many, many boxes in our house. There was a history, a precedent has been set. Okay.
Oh,
Mother.
That makes sense then.
Gotta get the cookies.
Yeah.
By the way, is like Halloween the same in Canada as it is in the United States?
Trick-or-treating, yeah.
Okay.
October 31st. That's the same, yeah.
All the same?
Mm-hmm.
All I know of that's different than holiday-wise is Canadian Thanksgiving, which I have several friends who have celebrated that, and it's quite the amazing thing.
Yeah, we do it in October.
Yeah.
But we do have
M.
I know. We do have Black Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we've adopted that wholeheartedly, sales and all.
I guess, yeah, stores. Why wouldn't they want to, I guess, make profit? I assume that they do.
You assume, right? Yeah.
I only had to work Black Friday once, and it was a little scary. So
I can only imagine. Luckily,
yeah.
I haven't worked retail. I've only worked like my high school job was a movie theater. So
yeah, we talked about that. Oh,
Black Friday wasn't really an issue for me, but like
that would be interesting. They all like rush in, like I gotta see the movie.
But those Tuesdays though, Tuesdays.
Oh man,
Tuesdays, oof, painful.
My brother worked at a movie theater right as pandemic hit and everything, and he was loving it. It's unfortunate because now it's like I don't know how they're going to survive. Yeah. Especially because it was just like a local one. It wasn't huge. I guess I think it was Regal, so it's part of a chain, but it was like a smaller one of that chain.
Okay.
Anyways, but he really enjoyed that job. Did you enjoy it? Do you think?
I enjoyed the people.
Yeah.
And the perks. You got to see free movies. You could go to movies while you're on break. You can have popcorn, drinks as much as you want, but of course the drinks are soda. So you win some, you lose some. Overall, I enjoyed the people more than the actual job. The job wasn't hard. It wasn't that exciting either.
For sure. Yeah.
Personally, at least. Yeah.
Oh. I like how sassy your shoulders got.
I know, right? Just like, whoo.
You can make her dance, like,
right? So yeah, I wanted to see if this was a shape. So this is not a shape. So what I like to do for that is I'll normally do this. So I'll select the outside shape that I have, and I'll just select both of them. So I'll copy I'll just paste it here, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I like to do, if it will work, if they're overlapping, is I'll go to the same Pathfinder and I'll select this one, which kind of divides shapes and paths. So if I click that one, hopefully if it worked out, if I ungroup it, because it automatically groups it even after you do that. So it doesn't have an ungroup, so I don't think it worked. So what I will do is this instead. I'll extend these a little further.
You always have a workaround. Good job.
Yeah. Just close it up a little bit. Make sure that this one is selected. Did you work? Let's see. Yeah.
Woo.
Okay. So then I'll select both of them and then I'll divide. And so now if I use my white arrow tool and I just select this section here and I delete twice, now this is one whole shape.
Oh.
And then I can delete the top part, which is the extra piece that I added, and just double click that. And so now this shape should be the exact same thing as this, but fit within this whole shape that I've created. And now it's a solid piece rather than before it was just a stroke.
You're so clever. So it just matches that exact curve of the top part.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I cut it and I'm just pasting it in place. And so now if I fill this in, it's one whole shape. Yay!
Everyone clap. Yay.
Yay!
Magic is happening.
So now we're gonna take both of these, and since this is like her clavicle area, I guess, and then she has her neck, they're gonna be skin tone, and then her face is also gonna be a skin tone. So I'm gonna go into the Adobe color themes, which I've been using a lot lately, and I've only recently been using it a lot because I only recently heard about it about 2 months ago or so. And so I typed in skin tone in the explore section, and so now I'm just looking to see what color I want to give her. She's going to be brown, but I don't know what brown. There's so many different levels of brown. There's like yellowy browns, there's red browns.
Infinite. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see how this one is. Oh, not bad. I don't mind it. Let's see. Oh, I like that one a little bit more rich. We're going to take off the stroke. And I'm just going to right click, since they're still selected, I'm just going to send them to the back.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can see our facial features. Now we have her shirt. Can pick any color. For now I could just pick this for now, and I will take off the stroke, also send this to back. So this is her neck and her shoulders, kind of.
So fast. Wow.
Yeah.
Because we did all that preliminary work. It's just
exactly.
Like, shoop.
And so because remember when we made this face, we didn't actually make it as into a full shape. Right now it's just kind of like half a shape. So that's why it stops here, which is ideally why you want to make everything as much a shape as possible especially when you want to fill it in. So what I will do is I'll double click just to make sure that I'm only working within this. And then I will continue the line. So as you can see, a little line segment comes next to the pen tool. So that just means I'm continuing the stroke, and I'm just going to willy-nilly it because it doesn't have to be perfect. Since she has that turban on top, the face is just going to go behind it. So it doesn't need to be perfect. Exactly. So we're just going to do it like that. And then
it looks perfect, but yes.
I'll just double click that, and now I'm out of it, and just make sure I send it to back. Perfect.
Nice.
So we made this whole head wrap one color, one shape. So what I will do is I will invert it, and now we will pick a color for her. Keeping in mind these are her ears, but we can also adjust that and make sure that the wrap comes closer down afterwards. So let's pick some colors. Let's say if we go into explore, we can type in keywords. So I can go like pastel, and look at me, a whole bunch of pastel themes and colors. Let's see, what color do you guys want? Like, what color do you think her head wrap should be?
The cool. Chat, I don't know, that is really nice color harmony.
I'm just like, wait, ooh.
But we found it. Whoops. No, I do think, those are all beautiful because the pink, it's just slightly different enough to be like,
right?
Very pleasing. By the way, Kristen just noticed that in unique, the eye is missing. So that is one thing that we can go back to eventually, but like obviously whenever you feel.
Yes.
And Angela says, hello from Montreal, Canada. Where are you from?
Hey, hi.
Danielle's from Montreal, Canada.
I am.
Montreal.
MTL.
Is that what you say?
That's the abbreviation of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
MTL.
So what I did for the nose is I'm just taking the same color as the face, and either I can turn this into, let's say in the blending modes, and I can change it to multiply to make it darker, and then of course like change the opacity and then kind of like make it a little lighter, maybe a little darker type of thing. Or I just use the eyedropper again, and I can just go into the color palettes and just kind of increase maybe the black or maybe decrease it. Yeah, just a
great feature.
Its own color. Maybe let's say like that. Not dark enough that you can't see it. I want to make sure it's still
so cute.
Thanks. A little noticeable. Her eyes.
Everybody's saying for the turban. Kendall's like rainbow. Golden Rose is like, can it be multicolored? Rachel's like orange.
I don't know if we have time for multicolored.
Yeah, really.
But great suggestions.
Absolutely. Ooh, I like that too. Sets them back slightly.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring the head wrap down. First, we're gonna send the ears to back. We're gonna bring the head wrap and the lines. So let's just do all this like that. Select it all.
Select it all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna group it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's all together and on top. So now we can
clean.
Bring this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you named it? All the things that we said we were gonna do.
I know, right?
Oh man. Oh, Paloma says I love the lavender. I do too.
Yeah, me too. There we go. So now we also have this as well, which we might want to make a little darker. So let's see, we add a little bit more magenta, a little bit more cyan. Ooh, kinda. And then these strokes, what we're gonna do is right now they're very just like blunt, straight edge strokes. But what we can do is just make them tapered towards the end, so it kind of looks like it's fitting within the whole wrap and just interweaving within the wrap itself.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm gonna do that.
See this happen. I feel like this will be satisfying too.
Let's change the color. Let's do maybe a gray. Oh, this one isn't selected.
And one blue.
Maybe something like that for now. And then we'll go into our stroke profiles here. And in the profile at the bottom, we're gonna click the tapered. So then to give you an idea to go closer, if I undo, they're really straight on the edges. Yeah. And you can also see here, yeah. So then we go tapered, and now they're a little bit more weaving into them. Or we can also do this one, which kind of makes it a little bit more organic looking.
Oh, so you have, like a ton of different options for how it tapers.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's all based on the points, I'm guessing?
Yeah, the ends, yeah. Or sometimes if it's like this, it could be based on the middle, and it can give it like almost like an organic shape like this. So it makes it a little thin in the insides and then wider on the outside. So we'll just put it like that for now. That's
so cool.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Yeah, that really came together so quickly.
Yeah, just to give her a little bit more definition. So right now her head just kind of blends into her neck. So we're going to add like a little bit of a shadow underneath her head. We might add like a bit of a shadow underneath her head wrap to kind of give her a little bit more definition there.
Nice.
And then we're going to cut these earrings so they're not directly in front of her face, and it looks like they're going behind her head almost. Yeah. So we're just going to cut, let's say up to here.
By the way, we have about 10 minutes before we're going to do the artist spotlight. And that's when we basically...
that was so fast.
I know, right? Time flies here. That is the truth. But yeah, we're going to highlight one of you guys as an artist that we just get to look at the art of and gush over. So there is a tab above the chat called Artist Spotlight. You can go there, nominate yourselves, nominate artists that you really appreciate the work of, and in future spotlights, they will be our spotlit artist.
So I'll try to finish this as much as possible, but no, continue.
Oh, no worries. We have time after that as well, so it's not the end of the stream or anything. But Kristen says this design is so inspiring. I'm gonna make so many characters. Love that.
Love that. So I'm just gonna give them almost like a goldish type of color.
Love it.
A little bit. Okay.
Well, that goes so nicely with like the dusty lavender and the pink.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm just gonna try to make like a quick shadow here. And I'm gonna give it the same color as the skin, but I'm gonna add multiply to it and then reduce the opacity just a little bit. And then we're gonna make sure that all this is sent to back. So it's like a little bit under her chin now, yeah. And then you can add a little bit of a shadow here as well, just to kind of
ooh, even more depth.
Outline, yeah. And this is gonna be the same color as the shadow. So I'm just gonna use the eyedropper. And then I'm gonna make sure that it's sent to back with all of these guys. Oopsies. I'm moving a little too fast there. Now I'm just like 10 minutes. Go.
And your computer's like, nah.
It's like, I'd rather not.
Yeah. How about no? Remember to save, everybody.
Yes, save. Also. Thank you. And then here's kind of like not lined up properly, but that's like nitpicking. We don't really have time for that, but we have our girl, and so
yes, we love her.
We have to add the eye. Thank you to the person who
it's unique
that.
Because it doesn't have an eye, okay? Right? Because unique is in the eye of the beholder.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this, but I'm going to duplicate the layer just so we at least have our original, and then we can just work on the copy of the font. Excellent. And then this is when the fun part would begin. So again, it's not going to be perfect because time is of the essence, and I kind of want to show you guys as much to a final as possible. So just to show you how we're creating the lines to turn them into strokes, I'm just going to ungroup this. So if you select the lines here,
and you don't have to rush. Like we have time after the spotlight and everything, so it's all good.
We'll go into expand, and then you see here you can expand it to fill stroke, and so now these are shapes.
Oh, nice! Oh, there's the magic, people.
Yeah, that's magic.
Smart program. Good job.
It is. It really
that'll do. Program that'll do.
Yeah, and so I mean, colors wise, we can probably use some of the same colors as
yeah.
This. Oh, I forgot to turn the R into a.
Oh, see, that's a really good point of why to make those into shapes.
So then you can fill everything together, and you don't have to worry about. Also, once you decrease and change the shape of an actual stroke, sometimes it'll actually shrink according to how you're changing it. So in order to keep the width and all that secured and safe and the exact same way you want it to be to match everything else, it's really good to turn that into a shape or expand it into a shape.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Tristan, by this way, is saying, loving this design. It looks great. I feel a little inspired to do some character design.
Yeah, do it.
Definitely do some character design. We would love to see it.
For sure, for sure. I'm going to turn in this to shape. Just going to group you. We're going to make sure that she's locked so I don't interrupt her. We're also going to
make some like, oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say we're also going to put the font behind her just so we can fill that in a bit more. And like the fun parts about like type art is it doesn't have to be correct in the sense of when you were to, if you were to actually write this. So like the spaces you put in between letters and words doesn't have to be exactly the same way you would do it if you were to actually write this out.
Absolutely.
And you can have like lowercase and uppercase all together sometimes if you want, because like that's the beauty of the art of it all, right?
Exactly. It's all your prerogative. You can do whatever you like.
Exactly. The spotlight's in a few minutes, I assume.
Oh yeah. We can do like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Whenever is a natural stopping point. So like, yeah.
Okay. No, so I'll do it after unique, because unique is probably going to be, or maybe after you. We'll do it in like 2 minutes.
By the way, Robzilla says, pro tip, Illustrator auto saves, which is very cool.
Oh, that is smart. True.
I think even with autosaves, I sometimes just like
just in case, yeah. Just in case.
Also, if you're ever afraid that like I've every once in a while, and it's usually when working on a very old or bad computer, have had files corrupted. So saving like backup files can be really useful.
Yeah, this is true.
But ever since I got my new computer, never had a problem.
You don't do it as much, yeah.
Thank goodness, because it's
honestly
really like heart attack city.
Honestly. So unique is a very unique word.
Yeah, it's a hard one to fit just because of the length of it. It's no
so
you.
We might have to make it a little. So yeah, we can do the spotlight now. Actually, I can get back into this afterwards.
Absolutely. All right, let's pop on over. Wait, hold on. I got a screen share. We are going to highlight an artist today to show you guys some beautiful work. And today we are highlighting its.daylen. We are showing their Instagram. So this is Daylen. It says that they are 21, pure creative energy, art and design. Oh yeah. So there's a ton of beautiful work to look at here. Overall, first impression that I see, obviously both of us are giving our input on this, but the color palette of just the entire Instagram like flow here or whatever is goals. I never have this kind of continuity. And it's just like such beautiful pastel blue pinks. Oof.
Yeah,
love it. So just gonna look through some of the posts here. Ooh, an exploration of the difficulties of living in a broken home. Oh wow, so this is like
beautiful,
deep stuff,
and also so like simple too, which as we know I love simple. It's like intricate but also like I don't know, I just love the whole composition of it and just the concept of it. I would never have thought of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the idea of having like a contrast of these beautiful, really serene looking colors that are like playful with such a heavy subject matter is really interesting, and probably also very meaningful because of like childhood and things like that. So like there's a lot of meaning there, which is awesome. We love to see it in art. You know, if you're saying something with your art, you're doing good stuff. This says eat your fruit and veggies. Okay. It looks like
it's like the stickers that you would see on your fruits and veggies and stuff.
Did you know?
That's so smart though, because it's a poster really, but it's like
absolutely
showcasing fruits and veggies. That's so cool.
With the like the color changes and the values being somewhat similar to each other. Yeah, it makes this busyness turn into something really pleasing. I love that.
I love the overlapping.
And did you know that those stickers are technically edible?
I did hear that too. Yeah. I've never done it, but I've heard they are.
Absolutely. It's, I mean, smart of them to do, but also don't eat those. And they say buy fresh and local, which is always a good message as well.
Definitely.
This one says going virtual. It's absolutely beautiful. Love this piece because again, like the minimalistic design is really conducive to just showing you the point of the piece. Like it doesn't need to be overly complex to really show a lot.
Yeah.
And having it overlap with the face with the digital element just makes it feel like, oh, the digital us.
And you can still see through to the person too, and you see that their eyes are closed. So I really like that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. With like a little emoticon kind of thing.
They do really well with the overlapping without making it seem too cluttered or too crazy. I really like that.
For sure. And the effect of making it feel like this is glowing. There's like a slight amount of texture in that glow, which is I love when there's like a very clean line, very clean, like a lot of things, and then just like that little bit of texture.
Yeah, that little
little this one says collage collection. Ooh, so pretty. I like the flowers and the butterflies.
Yeah.
And this is interesting because it's a very different technique. I'm guessing if they're using Photoshop, then it would be you know, using photos rather than painting things in, or also painting things in because we got the little star stamp.
Could be a mixture. Yeah, it could be a mixture.
And that is just showing a little bit of the flexibility of what you can do. It is literally like there's no limit to creativity. It sounds like a commercial, but it's true. We've got hello, Daylen. I hope I'm saying that right. Do you know?
Yeah, I think yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Daylen.
Excellent.
I really
Oh,
love that they can still continue their color scheme though, and they've kind of created their color scheme, like
for sure. I
as you
think
said,
they're
goals.
exactly. Oh, so good. But also, I think most of all, it seems like a lot of the pieces are analogous, which is very like
Mm,
similar colors on the color
yeah,
wheel. They're like next to
yeah,
each other,
exactly. Yeah,
which I always feel like is really solid choice for colors. If you don't know where to start, just like analogous is a good place.
and it can
Safe
be hard
space.
to do as well.
For sure. Yeah, super
Yeah.
hard to do. Depending on, I mean, so many things. And Dalen is clearly like balancing the saturation really well with the color
Yeah.
temperatures, keeping it
Hmm.
very interesting. Um, also saying a lot about themselves because we got Animal Crossing, we got outfits, we got ugly crying, emotions, and plants. I
All the
feel
things.
a kinship.
Yeah. I got
There's
Animal
so
Crossing
much.
recently too, so I used to
No
play it
way.
I used to play it back on GameCube, and then I recently got it last year, and I was like, oh, my childhood feels complete now because I've gone back into the Animal Crossing world. Yeah.
Heck yeah. This is New Horizons. Can we play
Yes.
together, please? Because I got
Oh,
it too.
yes,
Yeah.
please.
I love it.
Love
Oh,
it.
Animal Crossing brings people together. If you're
It
thinking
does,
about getting a Switch, go for it.
definitely. I kept looking at this piece. I really like the
It's so
simplicity of the
beautiful.
fire, but also the colors too, and the fact that it does look like it's radiating out and it's on fire, but yet it's just really just a few colors overlapping.
Absolutely. The
I really like
minimalism
that.
meets like that's I think one of the monikers of minimalism is you have to have a really strong point that you're making with it,
Yeah,
where it's like this is the message, there's no
yeah,
hiding.
exactly.
And yeah, this is absolutely beautiful. I agree with the radiating and the overlap of
Hmm.
these tiers. You can see
Yeah,
all the colors, every single layer behind there.
exactly. Yeah.
So they must have used a really cool blend mode or some way to do that because like that's really cool.
They did something cool, that's for sure.
Something cool happened here. For more hot tips on art and things. Oh man, I even like their signature. Dalen, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. And we'll look at one little more. Catching Stars. Ooh, this reminds me
Ooh.
of Howl's Moving Castle, and I love it.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that.
What? You gotta
No.
watch it. Okay. First of all, check if you got the Ghibli movie collection in
Okay. Yeah.
Canada.
Yes,
Then
and
watch all
definitely.
of
Yeah.
them if
Okay.
you do. The Howl's Moving Castle is one of them, and it's just
Okay.
10 out of 10.
I have like a list now.
Absolutely. Yes, you do have a
Hmm.
list. I specifically wanted to also look at this one because I absolutely love it. Just the feeling of like, I mean, everything that has
Yeah.
been going on, and especially when a lot of protests were going down. I
Hmm.
really appreciate when people make art about things that are happening, and
Definitely.
especially when it's personal. And I appreciate that Dalen probably went through a lot to make this piece. So thank you
Hmm.
for doing that.
Definitely.
I like the comment also. Proud of you, friend. Yes, that's what we feel.
It's amazing.
There's so much great work here to see. So
There
definitely give
is.
Dalen a follow. It's its.daylen. So go
Yes.
follow them on Instagram for some awesome work.
Follow, follow, follow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So the artist spotlight, make sure to add yourself or an artist that you love in that artist spotlight tab above the chat. And this can be you next time on Adobe
Yeah.
Live. So thank
Do
you,
it,
Dalen.
guys. Do it.
And
Yes.
thank you,
Thank
Wade,
you,
for
Dave.
putting a link in the description for the Instagram. Boom. Super easy. Anybody want it? It's in the chat.
Even better.
Wade says, I'm digging this, loving the 3D stuff as well. Oh my gosh, there's so much to look at. That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
multi-talented person here. Whoop whoop. All right,
All right.
excellent. So we've got your work back up.
Yeah.
Work on colors until we've got about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So plenty of time to just have some fun.
Mm-hmm. So in these types of scenarios, when words are super long, when we don't want them to be.
Why words got to be like that?
Yeah, sometimes you have to add other elements. So I'm just going to add a box just to fill in the space a little bit better. Yeah.
Boom, actual hot tip. That's
Done.
Awesome. I love it.
Fillers are good things.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that.
And then we're going to, of course, expand the S.
Of course, everybody knows that. Duh.
Yes. Now we all know that. At least if you've been paying attention, we know that now.
Know all about that S. What we've gone through to get it.
Mm-hmm. It took some work. There, I could put another color in here.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, the staggering of that even. It just happy accidents happen, you know?
Exactly. So group view.
Oh, Kristen says, nice work, Daylen. Yes, so good.
Love it.
And Julian says, great illustrations. William says, going virtual is amazing. That one that we looked at pretty early on.
Mm-hmm.
William also says, the pastels make me want to be calm.
Yeah, that's true.
Power of color.
It does give you like a calming, and like not even doing it on purpose, but my color scheme is actually very similar to
right?
this.
Yeah, calling out to Daylen. Hey.
That's amazing.
Got soul colors.
Right? Okay, so we're just gonna...
Robzilla just put another pro tip in the chat saying, add a box, which is your pro tip.
Yeah.
Fillers.
Oh, let's make sure we group. Everything is expanded. Okay. The E's a little different, but we can change that.
You know, it's a unique E.
Unique.
It's my new brand. Like it's a competitor to Nike. Unique. Wouldn't you want that on your shoes, your shirts?
Right? Exactly. So now I took the uncomfortable word and I put it on top of her on her layer now.
I love that. Yeah. Oh, the depth. Yes.
And then we're going to maybe bring this down a bit. Just oopsies. Let's block her out again. Lock her there.
Lock her out.
Yeah. And what's great too is you can kind of make things stagger a bit. So maybe we'll make this a bit higher. Maybe what we'll do is we'll bring you a bit up. Of course, if we had more time, we'd be editing these a lot nicer, but
oh, whatever.
With the time we have, we're making do with what we got.
It's the glory and the danger. Like, how many hours could you spend on like little?
Oh, so many hours. Yeah.
That's why you gotta make just like a uniform alphabet that you can pick and choose, and then just like change it up whenever you want.
That would be a very smart thing to do.
Yes. All right, I'll make sure you do it.
Thank you.
Accountability can help.
So many things on my to-do list these
days. Of course. Hey, you know what you did today? You're on Adobe Live. Great job. You did a big thing.
Thank you. So I added another layer just for like the background color. What we could do is we can kind of make this maybe a gradient of some kind.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Yeah. When you do so much upfront work and then just like pop in a color, it's so satisfying.
It changes things. So
stop using that word, but it is so satisfying. Oof.
It is. Let's go back to our Adobe themes.
By the way, I'm convinced that Kendall was in our pre-stream chat because she said add a box equals put a bird on it. I was literally telling
you said that
about put a bird on it before.
You did. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, she knows all. Kendall.
That's good. That's creepy good.
I know.
What? Creepy good.
Nahid, by the way, has a question and is saying how to maintain text readability when a part of the text is hiding behind another graphic. And also asking about hierarchy.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of it too is a visual thing. So making sure that you can just see the words. So a lot of letters are pretty recognizable. So sometimes you kind of want to lead on that as well. So, I mean, right now things are not very clear and visible, but we're just gonna try to increase the contrast when it comes to the background color so you can see the type or the text as much as you possibly can, especially if it's a thinner font. So thinner fonts are even harder to see. Luckily, we're working with more block thick letters, so we're working with that kind of advantage. But we want to increase the contrast as much as possible. So I have a light background, so my fonts are going to be dark, because if I have a light background like this, and a light text, then it's going to be a little harder to see. And then also if you're hiding the text, try not to hide too much of it. So if we were to hide, let's say unique, and it went like this, yes, you can kind of have an idea on what the word would say, but you don't want to rely too much on that. So you want to show the letters as much as you possibly can. So some of the letters are shown, I should say most of the letters in this word are shown, and just only a little bit of the U is shown. So that kind of helps. So contrast as much as possible. And when you are hiding the letters, try to still make it legible as much as you possibly can. And if it's not working, then maybe it's a matter of just changing things up, changing the colors, maybe moving the words, if you can, around the design as much as you possibly can.
For sure. Pro tips. Danielle, you're on it.
Thanks. Trying.
Doing.
Yeah.
And it looks like you're keeping a pretty analogous kind of color palette with the.
Now that I saw Daylen's work, I'm just like, let me try it. Why not?
Yes, it's so good. Well, and colors belong to no one, so like try out other people's color palettes. If you love it, replicate it. Absolutely,
for sure.
There's no problem with that. It's just lovely.
Let's see what color could work on top of her skin tone, but then also on top of the background.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Completely different color.
It's so funny because like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, every time I see the word uncomfortable, but I'm like, this is such a pleasing piece. Like it's very different from that. But it's just funny, like taken out of context, but obviously with the entire quote, it's perfect.
And like doing that too, and like making it stand out to kind of emphasize whatever quote you're trying to showcase is also really fun too.
Yeah. Well, it could make people think twice, where they're just like, wait, what?
Yeah. Maybe I want to do it white with like a black outline. Like that's also a possibility as well.
Oh, it's unique.
Yeah. Playing on words here, guys. Playing on words. And as you can see, like you can still see some of the shapes because I didn't group them all. But now what I'll do is I'll just duplicate this just to make sure we have the original. I have everything selected. I'm going to go into the Pathfinder, which is right here. And I'm clicking this one. And so now everything is all together. So just to undo so you can see it. So now it's all separate letters.
Love
it. Beautiful. And then we are going to type in Janelle Monet's name because I'm not going to forget the person who actually wrote the quote or said the quote, I should say. And since
giving credits, very good. So Lorem Ipsum wrote this.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's like a little 2 dots on the A, maybe.
Ooh, possibly. I do not know. Should I look it up?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think that's what it is at least. Oopsies, I did the lines, not the dots.
It looks like a little dash mark above the A.
A dash, something like this maybe? Let's just do it like that for now. Abstract.
Sure. It's lowercase on this, so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, let's just do it at that. There we go, Janelle Monet, and we will give her.
I'm sure there are very technical terms for like dashes and things like that, so I apologize if you know what that is.
Definitely are.
I do not. By the way, Kendall is giving some tips for hierarchy, saying try reading it out loud in the way your words are written. It helps with the hierarchy, which is very interesting.
That is very true.
And she says, lol, I was there in spirit without knowing it about the put a bird on it.
Yeah.
You were.
What I'm going to do actually is I don't want to have a stroke on this because then I don't want to make it too separate from everything else, but I'm giving it a letter color. So I'll add a drop shadow behind it. So it's behind it, just to kind of emphasize the word a bit more so you can make it a little bit more legible. So I'm going to go to Effect, Stylize, and Drop Shadow. So now you have your settings, you can change it up a bit.
Absolutely.
So just keep it like that for now.
Love it.
And since I don't actually have a predetermined size, I'm going to make this poster a little shorter.
Aha! Boom! Do what you want.
Exactly.
The brilliance of crop.
Right?
Which is a good just a reminder, if you are starting a project, say you're getting your first freelance or something like that, make sure that you communicate with your client about what size they need, because you don't want to design for something that is not going to be what they print or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
You can get yourself into a world of trouble that way.
Exactly. Let's change the font to one of my favorite fonts, is Sony.
Ooh.
Or Sunny,
Now,
I should say.
Dish about your favorite font. What is it? How'd you find it?
I don't remember how I found it, but when I did find it, because I like things that are a lot more blocky and I like sans serif fonts, this one just called to me, and it also has like an array of different versions of it. So I bought it. I bought it right away. So I was obsessed with it. But it's called Sony or Sunny. Sunny?
Sunny. I don't know.
Sunny Gothic. So that's the font we're going to use. But yeah, it has a lot of different widths to it, which is what I love the most.
That's lovely. Yeah, so much control.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where do you buy fonts?
Sometimes directly from like the Type Foundry. Sometimes it's like when you're finding fonts that are free, but you like it so much that you're like, okay, I want to use it for a professional reason and not just for personal. So then I'll go through the links that they offer to say like where it's actually from or the original source, and then you buy from there. Creative Market is a huge one as well.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of, I haven't bought fonts in a while though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, well that's the thing, is like I don't know if
like
I've
where
ever
else have I,
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean a lot of places to find them, but a lot of the times Creative Market was my go-to. Or if I found a font through Creative Market but it was, let's say, for free or something, I would go to that Type Foundry, and then a lot of times once you're on the page or the website of that Type Foundry, you see all their other fonts as well, so you can look through their catalog and see what else they have.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna add a couple of anchor points just so I can stretch out her body more to fill the bottom of the page. Oopsies.
By the way, Robzilla says another pro tip. Sunny Gothic was named after Sonny Bono. What?
Was it?
Do we know that? What? That's crazy. Did you just look that up, Rob? Or do you just know things like that?
Know all the things?
I would not be surprised, honestly.
Know all the things. Why is that being so weird? Okay, let's add
William would like to know an opinion about something that he's doing. William says, I'm on and off trying to work on a flyer prototype for an airport just for fun, but I'm taking airplane images from searching them, then copy and pasting them into Illustrator and tracing them. Do you recommend that, I guess?
Ideally, no, because you don't have the rights to that photo.
Gotcha.
So unless you can get permission to use the photo, then yes, for sure, go right ahead. But ideally, even if you are tracing it and you are somewhat changing the look of it, you don't want to use it professionally unless you have the license or the rights or the permission to use it. Yeah. Good call. If it is something that's just more for fun or just like for you to be able to work on it and just like get practice, creative and practice, and you're going to post it, just make sure you source the actual photo and where you got it from regardless. For sure. You always want to give people the credit where it's due.
Absolutely. And I believe, I know that I used this back in the day, but there's Creative Commons is something that is basically like tells you the ownership of a piece. And a lot of images are open for creative use without like anything tied to it. No strings attached, but you have to like look that up. And I believe Google has tools where you can look up images that are copyright free.
You can, yeah. And also like you can just like, if it's possible, you can look on websites like Unsplash that all their images are free and you're allowed to use for professional or personal reasons. And then you don't really have as much of a worry on the images that you use.
Right. And if you're looking, if you're looking for high quality images that you can purchase, also there is Adobe Stock, of course, that you can use.
Definitely. Yeah. That's where I use the image for the reference photo of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Love that. Those are beautiful reference images.
Yeah, they were. I agree. So I'm just going to group her.
Robzilla, pro tip, get permission. Yup.
That's the moral of the story. So she fits better when she's bigger.
Love it.
Now we have to adjust the font. See, sometimes you're just playing around with things, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't.
Absolutely.
Keep going. So
you'll love to see it.
Yeah.
We've got about 5 minutes left.
So
excited to see this to come together. And I'm so glad, honestly, that we had the artist spotlight when we did, just so we could get like,
inspiration.
Inspiration is everything. You never know where a piece is going to go. If you look at a piece at the right time, it can completely change your direction. And it didn't even change the direction. It just like influenced color choices, which is so fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unique.
Unique is so small. I'm just like, should I hyphenate her?
Yeah, really. Well, you could, I guess, put it like above and below. Yeah. Ooh, unique.
What is it? Yeah, I'm just like, it doesn't sound the same anymore.
No, I like it. I think it reads still. But of course, we can ask the chat.
Yeah. What if we did unique in a unique way? Does she be diagonal? Does she fit?
Does she fit?
Does she completely change the whole thing? Yeah, no, we don't like her like that.
Oh, so sorry.
Sorry, girl.
She's having a day, you know?
She is. Or we can just undo everything we just did. And then, oopsies. No,
and then the head wrap comes down. And
we want to redo the grouping, that's for sure.
Oh, okay.
That we want to do.
What about the grouping is not working for you?
It's more of just the bottom half of her is not proportionate to the rest of her body since I stretched it out. So now I just want to make her a bit bigger and bring her down. Let's see. What's the wording here?
Ooh.
Yeah, what if we just completely change the whole thing? Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens.
Absolutely.
It's very okay.
Absolutely. And like you did before, you could also change the crop for any of this, just because you're in control, baby.
Exactly. You make all the rules, unless it's a client piece and you do have some constraints. But in this case, we're making all the rules.
Heck yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you guys so much in the chat, by the way. You guys are sharing a bunch of resources for finding images and things like that. So very good in the chat. Claps all around. Round of applause.
Love that.
We've only got a few minutes left, but we do have a question from Santanu. And I don't know if we can answer this, but we'll try. They say, I'm really into Arabic, although I am not Arab, but I did design a type of Arabic font. Is there a way I can use it, like make my own font type? So making a font, but like into a typable font type. I believe there's a website that you can do that at, I think.
I would assume, but I personally don't know since I've never made my own font before.
Right, yeah. I know. It's like, I've seen what was it, like little printout pages where you can write your handwriting of the ABCs and then like scan it and then it will make a font of it. But
that's really cool.
Never gone through with it. And I think that might be what Tristan is linking to, which is Pexels. Pexels instead of pixels.
Pixels? Okay.
And Kendall says composition is always so difficult at the end.
It is. Absolutely. It really is. Even if it. Let's make if it a little smaller.
If it.
That
should be a word. I feel like that's
maybe somewhere it is. If it. Now we're making it big. It's okay. Makes others.
And Kristen says, I usually end up with a few versions of my design trying to figure out the composition, which is a good way to do it. Yeah, testing out all different kinds of ways that it could fit together.
Exactly.
This is beautiful. So you're making like a block of text, but to the side of the character. Nice.
Exactly, because it just fits. And that kind of goes back to working with legibility, and sometimes it just doesn't work with the size or the format. And it's just not legible. And sometimes you just got to be like, okay, next.
Next. Exactly.
There's always another option.
Love it. Well, we would love to see this when it is, whatever you want to call finished, because I think it's beautiful already. Like, done, send it. But we are basically at the end here. So is there anything you would like to call out for the people to find you at, follow you at? Anything
you can see the final piece when I post it on Instagram.
Yes.
My Instagram is dmcox, so COX_. So it's DMCOX_. Or you can search my name based off of the name of this video, which is Danielle Murrell Cox, and you should be able to find me. And yeah, we'll see where I take this after this session. But I'm so grateful that I was here. I really appreciate it. It's been a full circle moment of learning Adobe programs back in 2008 to now being on Adobe Live. So super grateful, super appreciative of it.
It's been lovely to have you. I know Adobe really appreciates you being here. There are going to be more streams coming up after us, so stay tuned on Behance because there's always something more to see here. But for now, we will say see you later. Thank you so much, Danielle. Thank you, chat.
Bye, guys. Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.